Folks, don't get caught if the market starts to shift. We're going to talk about that in the latest home prices and insights for the City of Toronto for week ending May the 10th, 2023. It's happening again. FOMO, fear of missing out, prices going up, multiple offers. Remember the peak last year? Remember the run up to the peak? How many people bought, and I'm talking about move up buyers or move down buyers, people that basically are going to sell one house and buy another. It always comes up early on in the conversation. Should I sell first or should I buy first? Well, we saw it last year. It's not ancient history. It was just a few months ago, 12 months ago, we saw multiple stories. I received numerous phone calls and helped out numerous people that got stuck. They ended up buying first, and then when they went to go sell their home, that market changed and they got stuck. They were in serious financial turmoil, not being able to close. Well, fast forward to today, and we're seeing people making same mistakes. They are buying first and then selling. Now, look, we deal with all sorts of clients, and I do have situations where we will buy first before we sell, but that's a whole different set of circumstances for those people that are able to buy first. And one of the big factors for those people that are able to buy first, the reason we're buying first, is that the fact that, look, they want to sell to buy. They don't want to own two homes, but they don't actually need to sell in order to buy. They could still close without having sold their home. That's different than a person that needs the equity from the home that they currently live in. They need it sold. They need the money in their bank in order to buy. So those people that are in that situation, folks, it's totally irresponsible if a realtor's telling you, oh yeah, let's buy first and then we'll put your home on the market. Oh, don't worry, we'll do a long closing date. Yeah, all that is great. But we saw it last year. How many people got stuck when the market turned? Now, I'm not predicting if and when the market is going to turn, but let's look at it. The financial, the economic situation today is very different than what it was a year ago when everything turned. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. Sure, prices are heading up, lots of multiple offers, everything looks great now. But at some point, eventually, it's going to turn around. Don't be stuck. Don't be irresponsible and buy first and then be in a situation where maybe you can't close, because that is a terrible situation to be in. Now, it's not always a perfect situation to sell first and then maybe you can't find something in time. But that situation is way different than buying first and not being able to sell. Way different. So be careful what you're doing out there. Be careful about agents giving advice about, oh yeah, let's go buy and don't worry, we'll sell yours. The market's great, it's hot. Look, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. Be prudent, be financially responsible, really work with somebody who's going to ask the right questions and lay it out on the table, pros and cons of doing it this way, pros and cons of doing it that way, and can give you advice as to what makes more sense. So this way you know what to expect and you can make great financial decisions for you and your family. If you think this video can help somebody you know, pass it along. If you get value from what we're doing here, please subscribe. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, I've made it really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that and book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. So, no more Leaf jersey. I've put it away nice and neat for next season. Folks, the market, the real estate market right now in the GTA, extremely strong. Prices are trending up. Months of inventory are really low or trending down. It seems everything is great. But we are on shaky grounds here, and we don't know how long this is going to last. So make really, really good financial decisions if you're buying and selling. Look, if you're just on the sidelines and have no intention of transacting, no problem. Enjoy the show. But if you're looking to buy or sell, align yourself with a true real estate professional, a consultant, somebody that can guide you to make good decisions for you and your family. Let's get into the numbers here. I have a quick summary. These are average sold prices, condos, semi-detached, and detached prices here. Look, condos to detached, there's a $1,080,000 price difference between condos and detached. Big, huge price difference. Let's start off with detached. This is just for the city of Toronto. I've got prices and sales broken down by week for a whole year. 235 detached properties were sold in the city of Toronto for week ending May the 10th. Now, 235 is a very strong week. It's the strongest we've had in a year and plus. Now, I've been reading a lot of headlines saying that how much better how much better April was versus March. Well, no kidding. Aren't we headed, like the spring market, isn't it normal? Isn't it something we should be expecting? And so what happened is what we expected. As we head into the spring season, sales tend to pick up, activity tends to pick up. That's what we expected. So nothing surprising here, the fact that we've sold 235, which is better than what we've been doing all year and better than what we've been doing all of last year. So 235 were sold. 75 of those were sold at $2 million or more. 75 in 1 week is the highest we've had in over a year also. And average sold price is up. Now it's sitting at $1,884,000. Now I drew a line. If we get rid of these 2 weeks here, I can't explain why they were so low, but they're just, out of the ordinary. So if we get rid of these 2 weeks here and we draw a straight line, it's kind of like prices, they don't veer far off from that straight line. And that's been going on now since February 1st. Prices have just been generally trending upwards. $1,184,000 is the average sold price for week ending May the 10th. I've got the peak pricing here. Peak pricing for detached for the city of Toronto was back in February 2022 for $2,075,000. We're 10% off from the peak. That's it. We're only 10%. Doesn't sound like a lot. It's a couple $100,000, but it's only 10%, and we've seen shifts of 20%, 25%, so we're only 10% off from the peak. Prices have definitely changed for a while now. $1,184,000 is only 1% lower than where we were a year ago. Median price is 2% higher than where we were a year ago at this time. And both median price and average sold price, it's very clear, have been trending upwards. And I'm looking at the dotted line. The dotted line is a 4-week moving average. It just makes it simpler, makes it easier to spot a trend. Of the 235 that sold, 69% sold at list price or more. 69%. We were at 40% selling at list price or more, then in the mid-50s, and now we're 69, 70% selling at list price or more. It's very active, very competitive out there. 410 were listed. Now, active listings has been trending upwards, has been increasing, and you figured, oh, with more active listings, months of inventory should be getting higher. Well, it's all relative to how many we're actually buying. So sales did go up, so did active listing, and as a result, when you kind of look at the two, months of inventory has come down a little bit, sitting at 1 month of inventory. And over the last 4 weeks, we've been hovering between 1 and 1.1, going back and forth. And when you're this slow, prices are going to go up. That's all the city of Toronto. Let's break Toronto down for a bit in 9 different sections. And just a reminder, for the city of Toronto as a whole, 235 were sold. Average sold price is $1,184,000. Sold at list price or more is 69%, and months of inventory is 1. Let's look at some of these neighborhoods here that are, I guess, performing better than the city of Toronto as a whole. Etobicoke, months of inventory sitting at 0.8. York Mills, Rosedale, I looked at the average sold price here. $3,340,000. $3,340,000 is the average sold price. 63% of those properties, only 35 were sold, but 63% sold at list price or more. Months of inventory sitting at 1.5. East York, 0.8 is the months of inventory, 72% selling at list price or more. Scarborough, months of inventory is 0.7. 85% selling at list price or more. I got to tell you, when you start getting into the 80s, it kind of feels like every single property is selling at list price or more. But here's an interesting fact. Scarborough sales of 61, that's 26% of all sales across the city of Toronto. More than a quarter of all sales, Scarborough. East York is responsible for 11% of all the sales in the city of Toronto. Now that's East York, Riverdale, Beaches area. If you combine those two, Scarborough and East York, Beaches area, that's 37% of all the Toronto sales. It's more than a third of all sales are done right here. Let's look at semis. 71 semis were sold, so sales are increasing for semis. 21 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price came down from the previous week to $1,402,000. That's what the average semi is selling for. Average sold price is basically the same that it was a year ago. Median price for semis is down 4%. Both median and average sold price is increasing, trending upwards. Months of inventory sitting at 0.7. 76% of the semis that sold at list price or more. Here's townhouses. 25 townhouses were sold, and also sales are increasing for townhouses. This is what we expect at this time of the year. 25 were sold, 6 of those were at $1.5 million or more. Average sold price jumped way up from the previous week to $1,319,000. 1,319 is 8% higher than what it was a year ago. The median price of 1,265 is 14% higher than what it was a year ago. The months of inventory for townhouses is sitting at 0.8. These are extremely, extremely low months of inventory. 72% of townhouses sold at list price or more. When I talk about these percentages, 69%, 72, 75, 80%, depending on which part of the city you're in. Look, if you're looking to buy and you have the attitude that, oh, there's no way I'm competing in multiple offers, I mean, it's your prerogative. You could take that stance. But even if there's not an official offer night, there's a good chance you're going to be competing whether you realize it or not. You can just find yourself in a situation. So better, instead of saying, I'm never doing it, work with somebody that can help you navigate that and do it in a way that you're comfortable competing, because you're going to be competing. Condos. 319 condos were sold. 48 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price sitting at $800,000. Now condos is a whole different market, and it's behaving different than what's happening in the freehold market. Looking at the peak pricing for condos in the city of Toronto was March of last year. Peak price was $832,000. We're only 4% lower than the peak condo price of a year ago. only 4%. Now, when we were down here, it was much higher. But that's not where we are now. If you're looking to buy or sell, you're doing it now. You're not doing it months ago. Right now, at $800,000 is the average price. We're 4% off the peak pricing. $800,000 is 2% higher than where we were a year ago for the same week. And the median price is 4% lower than where we were a year ago. Now, the median price has been trending up a little bit more gradually than what average price has been trending up. Of the 319 sold, 43% sold at list price or more. Now here's where there's a difference between the freehold market. Freehold market has 70-80% selling at list price or more. This is half of that at 43% selling at list price or more. 730 were listed, and months of inventory sitting at 1.6 months of inventory. I've kind of taken a 4-week block here. It just seems that these 4 weeks here are different than the previous 4 weeks and the previous weeks after that. It just, I don't know, it's like a pattern developing. But right now, between 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 is where we've been for the last 4 weeks. Here's a quick summary. These are extremely low months of inventory. As the months of inventory are down, meaning we're going to sell out of whatever properties are for sale quickly at the current rate that we're buying, it's a seller's market. Prices tend to go up. At the very least, they'll stay where they are now, but it's not what we're seeing. We're seeing prices trending up. It's getting more and more competitive. We don't know how long this is going to last, so proceed with caution. If you're buying, if you're selling, really work with somebody that can help you navigate this, a professional. Who you hire matters. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.